What's going on, guys? TKD1 to the video, and it is another Monday. That means another installment of music and history on every single Monday we have here on the channel. And today, I was in the car. I left my phone on shuffle, right? Usually I tend to do that if I get a little bit bored on what I'm listening to. I just put it on shuffle, and Miguel started playing, and I haven't heard Miguel in in a while, right? It's been a couple months. Let's be honest, it's been a couple of months. So I decided, why not when I go home to record in music and history based off of the one and only Miguel. Starting off on the list is that he has not always been successful in music, right? And what I mean by that is that his first debut album, All I Want Is You, didn't perform that good upon release. Just kind of overall, the album received a lack of promotion and backing really from his label. And with those two combined, it kind of pushed him to sell only 11,000 copies of his album in the first week. But that is not the end of the story. His first album went on to blow up in the months, after release. And it went on to actually really launch his career as an artist, and it since has reached 400,000 copies sold and has debuted at 109 on the Billboard Top 200, granting that album as an actual hit. And honestly, it is one of my favorite albums R&B wise. It is not my favorite usually from him, but it is amongst my top, I'd say my top 25, right? I'll put it in my top 25. But my favorite track on that album specifically is Vixen. I mean, if you guys have not checked out this album from Miguel, definitely go back, check this album out. You're missing out. This is a great album. And yep, moving on to number 2, Mo Money, Mo Problems, and that has never been so true with labels in the music industry. Now, speaking of his debut album, All I Want Is You, his label actually would not let him release it. His label at that time was called Black Ice, and apparently it was something with how he was making an album, and I guess it wasn't under the jurisdiction or some sort of legal reasons why he wasn't allowed to make an album for some sort of reason, right? So because he made this first album, it was, quote, a breach of contract, and it apparently took 2 years before he was able to actually drop the album. And then once the court stuff went away and this whole thing, was kind of in the past, he went on to drop out of his label. He says because he wanted to create a new image and sound for himself, and that he built this current image and sound off of the Black Ice label, and he kind of wanted to separate himself from that. I think personally it's because of how Black Ice treated him, with his first album. Because I mean, listen, like, corporate influences in music industry is a really, really big issue, and it has seen a lot over the years, and it has, kind of trashed a lot of artists in a way. And I just hate the way they treat artists sometimes, just as economic juggernauts and all this stuff, and they almost control the artist, right? And it's just like, guys, these are artists, these are people that want to create. Let them create on their own prerogative, on their own terms. Let them do what they want. You know what I'm saying? The people are going to gravitate towards artists because they're doing good things. So just let them do good things, for real. Like, let them be free, man. I apologize for that big rant, but you know what is not big? Miguel. Yes. God, I really hate segues. Anyway, beside the point, right? Miguel is short. Now, not only is he short, but he's, just generally a small dude. He's pretty small, right? He's only 5'7" and 135 pounds, right? Now, if we're comparing it to me, right, I am not 135, as you all can see in my music reviews when I, have my face shown. I'm definitely not 135. Definitely got a bit more meat and a bit more muscle, guys, mainly more muscle, but beside the point, right? I got more beef than him, so I'm definitely not 135, but however, I am actually 5'7", and this kind of reminded me of a story, because I went to the doctor's about 2 weeks ago, and he was looking at my chart of growth, right? And so he saw that there was a plateau in my height, and it's been going on for like 3 years, and so he's like, well, Kevin, I think, you're pretty much done here growing, and it just made me laugh because it's really depressing how I'm only 5'7", and all I ever wanted to be was like 6'3", so girls would like me. And all right, next fact, whatever. Miguel is well known for singing, as you all know, but that wasn't actually his direct trajectory he wanted to go on, from the jump. As a child, he actually wanted to be a dancer, and he apparently obviously worked towards this goal of being some dope dancer, I guess. Dope dancer, Kevin, really? Dope dancer. You're gonna say dope dancer? Really? Some magnificent dancer. There we go. Kevin, use your vocabulary. However, by the age of 13, he kind of threw away that dream and started pursuing music. And by the age of 14, actually, he was even recording his own music and all that good stuff. So he has always, been an artistic person and has always wanted to express his artistic inside and bring it, into his outside life. And he can even play the guitar, which is, a skill I wish I have. Well, no, I would prefer playing the piano, but each one's cool. It's fine. I'd rather play the piano. But that just shows you how musically inclined Miguel has been all of his entire life. And the last fact we got is a fact that, a lot of artists share in this R&B genre. You know what I'm saying? A lot of artists today really do have this big influence, and one of his biggest influences is Prince, and he is consistently compared to him, with the style of his music, how it's very, taboo and kind of weird, along with him being outlandish and dancing while he's performing live and stuff like that. He's a very much kind of like Prince in a lot of ways. And the first time I saw him live was, well, the only time I saw him live was when he opened for Drake back on his Would You Like a tour, and he was actually really good. He was really good. He was getting the crowd pumped up and everything. He was a very lively artist, I would say, on stage. He was very lively. He did really good, and I definitely see the correlation with him and Prince. And honestly, I really do kind of want a new album from him. It's been a little bit. He put out Wild Heart about a year ago, but Kaleidoscope Dream was such an important album for me as a person, like, just kind of me and what I was going through during that time. That album really was a defining, key mark piece of work. And if you are sleeping on Miguel, please stop sleeping. Wake up, guys. Come on, wake up. And when you have waken up, make sure to go down in my description, check out my links. You can find my Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all that good stuff. And while you're down there, make sure to leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about the whole entire thing about Miguel. Let me know what you guys want to see on next week's episode. And also down in the comments below, if you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed the facts, the info, if you enjoyed my presence, make sure to leave a like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate all the feedback you guys give me. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, I got you.